I'm going to attempt to survive 100 days in hardcore Black Clover mod. And I'm going to be trying to discover all 3 of these anti-magic swords and defeat the Ender Dragon. But if I die, the world is deleted forever. Day 1, I spawned into the world and I was manaless, meaning I can't use magic. This would make fighting enemies a lot harder than it should be. I then fell straight into a dungeon and this was bad. I would need to find a way out fast or else it is over for me. No. Go up the water. Go up the water. Grab the stuff quick. No, I'm surrounded. Build up fast. No, the creeper exploded. No, get away. I knew it was time to make a very risky decision. Right, I gotta make a break for it. I'm gonna make a break for it. Come on. No, get out my way, Husk. Get out my way. No, there's another one. Keep running. No. Why is there so much stuff? Why does everything keep on spawning? Where do I go? Is this a dead end? Am I stuck? Wait, place the redstone torch. There we go. I'm safe. Even though I was cornered, I managed to find some ender pearls, so maybe I could get out with these. Right, make a break for it. There's a gap. Throw the ender pearl. Come on. Oh, freedom. Finally, freedom. Yes, I made it out. And while sorting out my inventory, I accidentally dropped every single one of my items back into the hole that I fell into to begin with. Okay. Yeah, that stuff's lost forever. I'm not getting that. I then started off getting some wood and defeating some pigs for food before discovering a ruined nether portal with 3 different gold axes for me to choose from and some armor. I then made some wooden tools and upgraded them straight away by grabbing some stone. And then I came across 2 strange looking towers. So I decided to go explore the tower that was on top of the mountain because that one looked cooler. Inside was an old man. And when I right clicked him, I got my grimoire and a really cool pure black sword. The grimoire was supposedly a 5-leaf clover. So maybe that means it's better than the other clover grimoires. So that's great. After putting this grimoire in the offhand slot, I noticed I had a move called Bull Rush. I'll have to test out this move later on. Also, while here, I yoinked all these bucks since they would save a bunch of time later on when making my enchanting table. Day 2, while exploring, I came across a stone tower. So I went inside to explore and hopefully find some good loot. While fighting my way up the tower, I finally unlocked the ability Bull Thrust after taking down some spiders. But I wasn't strong enough yet to make my way all the way to the top of the tower, so I headed back down after only making it about halfway. Shortly after, I found another grimoire tower and decided to test out my new sword. I'm sorry, old man, it's for the greater good. Day 3, while out exploring, I managed to become a stage 8 without even having any mana. After ranking up, I also got jumped by a piece of armor with a bow. This piece of armor seemed to be guarding something, so I decided to take him down with Bull Rush and made my way towards the tower that they were guarding. And then on day 4, I infiltrated it. Then I almost died since there was like 10 invisible things on the second floor. 1.5 hearts. Day 4, while destroying another tower, I ranked up to stage 7 and quickly went into another cobble tower to steal the gold from the top. I also jumped straight from the top and instantly nearly regretted it since I would have died from the fall damage. Oh, that was close. Day 6, I found another mysterious structure, so I went to investigate and found some really good loot. I yoinked all the stuff and found a map that should lead me to some better loot. So from days 7 to 11, I traveled across thousands of blocks to hopefully reach the spot on the map. And while traveling, I unlocked black mode and became stage 6. So I was definitely a lot stronger now. After traveling for so long, I just gave up searching for the place on the map and headed a different direction to hopefully find some new things. I came across a village, so I stole all of their wheat and also made a sewing table, which would be the most valuable item I would need in this entire 100 days, as I would need it to try and increase my storage space. While traveling some more, I reached stage 5 and also came across a cool looking monument in the desert. Whoa, what is this? I made my way into the dungeon, stole some loot, and got a free enchanting table from this dungeon as well. I went exploring into the dungeon a bit too far and had to fight against the creeper spawner with no shield. No, I'm done here. Yeah, I left this dungeon as soon as the first creeper exploded. On day 12, I came across a new structure I'd never seen before. I made my way closer and knew this would be where I would find my next sword. So I went inside and instantly regretted it. Whoa, this place is sick. What the heck are those things? No thanks. I left this place for now, but I would need to come back later when I have better gear and a higher rank. On day 13, I found another cool looking structure, so I went to investigate. And while diving into the dungeon, I found really nothing worth looting and also no stairs to a lower floor. So I decided to leave this dungeon. But on day 15, I came across a crazy looking tower. Whoops, I right clicked. Oh no. While fighting off some coyotes, I managed to reach manaless stage 2, making me much stronger than before. The next day, I found a village and stole all their loot and food, giving me a good amount of bread and emeralds. After taking all the stuff from the village, I also reached stage 4. Then I headed underground in search of a mine shaft, since I would need many stacks of string to make my backpacks. Luckily, after 3 days, I finally found a mine shaft and got to work grabbing every piece of string in the mine. After grabbing enough string, I went exploring further into the mine, fought against a lot of mobs, and found some diamonds before coming across a really cool nether-looking dungeon. This dungeon's loot was honestly not that good, but this potion looked strangely interesting, so I drank it. And then I thought I was gonna die. Oh no, I can't see. Luckily, it only lasted a few seconds because that could have been bad. While exploring some more on day 20, I got cornered by a skeleton, but thanks to Bull Rush, I managed to escape on 1.5 hearts. Oh my god, I'm alive. After coming across another loot room, I unlocked black mode flight, and this will be huge for both travel and combat. I attempted to challenge the room and started breaking the spawners, but these mobs were very strong. No, stay away. I got down to low hearts so many times trying to take out these spawners and finally managed to get to the chest and grabbed all the enchanted diamond loot inside. Day 22, I made my way out of the caves and started taking out cows and goats for leather, since I would need a lot to make my backpacks. While hunting, I became a stage 2 mage and got a pretty good power boost from reaching that level. With my new power, I went exploring on day 24, finding a desert temple and a cool fishing hut, and I grabbed all the loot from both. On day 26, I finally made a backpack and upgraded it to max. This allowed me to store all my loot inside. So I finally had extra bag space so I could take on the massive dungeon I saw earlier. I made my way into this bandit tower looking dungeon, and the loot was better than anything I'd seen so far. It had a lot more loot than anything I'd tried to loot before, so this was great. The mobs in this bandit tower were on a completely different level to the other structures I've been in so far. I kept making my way up the tower, grabbing all the loot I came across, ranking up and almost losing to the mobs many times. No. After 4 days inside this tower, I finally made it to the top and grabbed the loot from all the chests, and I got a lot of gold and iron from this tower, so I could probably make a good 4 or 5 stacks of golden apples. Also, thanks to making it to the top of the tower, I became stage 0 level and would now have much more strength and hearts, so this would be super useful in taking on other dungeons. I then made my way off the tower, and on day 31, I made a second backpack to store some of the crazy amounts of loot I got from that tower. Now that I was stage 0, I made my way back to the crazy hell dungeon from the start and began fighting my way through the dungeon to unlock my next sword. I would have to defeat every mob and break every spawner in this entire place to unlock my sword, and it took 7 days to get through this entire place. Even at stage 0, the mobs were extremely strong, and this place went multiple floors down in 4 different directions. To keep track of where I had explored, I used walls to block off explored areas, which made memorizing where I was going much easier to handle. Although the difficulty of this place was very high, the loot and rewards were incredible. So much enchanted loot, even things like fortune and mending pickaxes, also a lot of golden apples. On the 6th day of exploring, I came across a TNT pile with a lever, so I obviously flipped the switch and nearly died due to the slowness effect that I got. Day 38, I also reached Manaless stage 5 by accidentally mistiming a jump and falling straight into lava, so I got damaged enough by the lava to rank up. Oh, that was close. On day 39, I had finally finished the dungeon, and I heard a sound effect that meant a special chest had spawned for me to take the Demon Dweller sword inside. This took so long to do, and it was well worth it because this sword had some crazy ranged attacks. After leaving the dungeon though, I tested out my new sword on some enemies, and it does very nice damage. Day 41, while exploring, I found a giant dragon skeleton, and then on day 42, I found an illager campsite, so I stole their map and started making my way towards the location on the map. While traveling, I came across an illager outpost, a strange mushroom house with duplicating enemies. Wait, what? What just happened? A sandstone dungeon and a bigger mushroom. And then on day 43, I came across a villager outpost and forgot I had the bad omen effect, so I started a raid by accident. However, I just decided to leave for now, as I had more important things to find for the time being. Days 44 to 47, I found and raided some more structures and found a massive illager army outpost. I didn't stick around too long to find out how many illagers were hiding in that outpost. Thanks to black mode, I could fly for a day at a time, and it made travel so much easier. For 6 days, I explored abandoned dungeons, mushrooms, jungle caves, and pirate ships with a massive amount of loot on board, with pirate pillagers guarding it. I came across a pirate galleon on day 54, making sure to steal everything from their ship, before finally on day 56 reaching the marker on the map I had followed. This place I had spent so long traveling to was abandoned, and it only had yet another map. So I followed this map for one more day and night and reached a coliseum with a phantom riding boss monster guarding whatever this place had for me. I took down the boss and all the other skeleton mobs before exploring more of the coliseum, only to find that it was a bait and there was nothing here. So I made my way into the sky, and that's when I noticed some stones sticking out into the ocean. I went through the smashed wall and found an asylum. Plagued husks roamed every hole of this place, with pits full of skulls everywhere. There was loot and rotten flesh all over the place, so maybe this would be a jackpot. Day 59, I explored further and further into this asylum, coming across the warden, and he was guarding a chest. So I quickly defeated the warden and grabbed the amazing loot from inside before moving further into this place. Day 61, I was at the very base level of this asylum, and I found some insane potions with the craziest effects I'd ever seen. What the heck are these? Some potions were perfect for debuffing, some were good for buffing, and this potion with bad omen effect is the best one of all. This potion would make it so I could do raids whenever I wanted just by drinking the potion. So I put them into my backpack and headed back to the surface to take on a raid and get some totems of undying. Day 63, I started the raid, and thanks to my demon dweller sword, the first 4 waves were easy, but that wasn't the case for the later waves. It took everything I had to keep the villagers alive and to stop the crazy assault of the pillagers. I managed to take down the final wave, and honestly, it was super easy. There's another wave? Final wave, I had to face ravagers, golems, redstone golems, along with about 30 pillagers. It's a very hard fought battle, but thanks to the potions I got from the asylum, I only just managed to complete the raid and come out with 5 totems. But after that adventure, I wanted more. So on day 65, I decided to look up into the sky for some reason horizon and saw a ship. So I activated black mode and flew up to the ship, and the loot was glorious. The only issue was there was so many enemies, and a lot of them could shoot fire. So the ship was ablaze, and now I was on the clock. Time was running out, and I had to get through the entire ship before it burned down and my black mode ran out. So I dived through the enemies, yoinked all the loot, and escaped off the ship just before the entire thing had burned down. Oh, that was close. Day 67, I found an illusioner's mansion, and this thing was incredibly hard to take on. The illusioner mob kept blinding me every time I came into the house, and then I would get swarmed by axe pillagers. If I managed to get my third sword earlier, it would have made this mansion so much easier. I still can't see. Day 70, I found an enormous temple-looking building in a forest, so I obviously went inside and instantly regretted it. Oh, with a skeleton. No. There was even some spiders hiding on top of the roof, shooting me with arrows. This building went all the way up to build limit, so this would take a super long time to explore and reach the top. I moved steadily up the tower, and it took a solid 8 days to reach the top. And the loot from the top was honestly not worth the pain of making my way through this entire place. Day 78, while exploring, I found a lighthouse with a buried treasure map, and that map was very close to the lighthouse, so I grabbed the loot and then found another hell dungeon that had been completely sliced in half by something. Whoa. Day 80, I gave up on exploring and noticed I needed mending on my items fast. So I found a village and got to work resetting a villager for mending. This took so long, and on day 82, after accidentally removing 2 villagers from existence, I finally got mending, and I put it on all my armor so they wouldn't break. I then entered this desert palace and began taking down all the enemies and taking all the loot, but this place was massive. I found some awesome potions from the top of the palace, along with a lot of diamonds and some netherite. After yoinking all the loot, I returned back to my enchanting table and tried to get some better armor for the final fight that was going to happen on day 99. For this final fight, I would need my third sword. So while exploring some mines on the morning of day 83, I found an abandoned mine shaft. While exploring, I then accidentally broke a minecart, which had the Demon Destroyer sword. This sword was great, as this sword completely removes any status effects through the use of the ability Causality Break. On day 84, I activated black mode and set up a nether portal. I then went through into the nether and got completely jumped by a group of ghasts. After taking down the ghasts, I came across a nether desert temple, and by accident, I set off a trap chest. This was not what I was looking for, though. I needed a nether fortress and fast. I moved through the nether and found it very hard to control my speed. I missed. Day 85, I found a bow called the Saber Wing, which shoots arrows that creates pools of healing. This could be useful. The next day, I found a bastion, and it was packed with enemies. The reward was worth the intense battles, though, as we got an item called the Death Cap Mushroom. This increases my damage and overall movement speed, and it's an incredibly useful item for my future battles since I don't have any mana. Day 86, I finally found a fortress and farmed blazes for the next day to make sure I had enough blaze rods to make it to the end and fight the Ender Dragon. Joke's on you, I've got Causality Break. While exploring and trying to make my way back to the nether portal, I came across a strange black stone path, and that's when I discovered this. Wait, is this a stronghold in the nether? Right as day 90 began, I have found another stronghold. This place had enchanting books, ancient debris, and a lot of other pretty good loot. I found the portal room, placed in the Eyes of Ender, and decided to fight the Ender Dragon much earlier than I was expecting to. The fight was both super easy but also super difficult, thanks to black mode allowing me to fly and easily take out the crystals. Oh, I've got the moves. Let's go. I also chased after the Ender Dragon in the sky, sniping him with my black slashes, finally bringing him down on day 91. Oh, an egg. Before my black mode ended, I made my way into the depths of the end and started finding some crazy destroyed structures. Oh, another egg. Guarding these end structures was these crazy Enderman bosses who threw blocks at you and also could make you teleport like crazy. After beating these Endermen, I found some giant dragon eggs, a spiral portal tower looking thing, and some shulker boxes. On day 96, I finally left the end through a waystone and began using my 73 levels to make some even better gear. It was now time for the final fight, the Wither. So I spawned a Wither and began the first fight. Grimoire Man sadly passed on in the explosion, so I avenged him by easily taking down the first Wither with my black meteorite skill. Boom, easy. But that wasn't enough, so on days 98 to 100, I fought 3 more Withers and defeated every single one of them with my black mode activated. Consecutive black meteorites allowed me to take down every Wither, and I had survived 100 days with no mana or magic.